Hey guys, welcome back to the Lumo Pop channel. There is one thing in this world that can never be faked, no matter how skilled someone is at pretending. It's not a smile. It's not a performance. It's not even the words we speak. It's touch. The kind of touch that doesn't seek attention. The kind that doesn't need a spotlight. It's the kind that finds its way in the quiet, in the chaos, in the most unexpected places. And says everything without saying a word. In a world of flashing cameras, red carpets, scripted interviews, and carefully curated personas, there exists a language that slips past all filters. The language of body. The language of hands. And in the glimmering, often overwhelming world of Chinese entertainment, there are two names that continue to pull at the strings of fans' hearts. Not just because of their fame, or talent, or on-screen chemistry, but because of something far more human. Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. Individually, they shine. Together, they stir something deeper. Curiosity, emotion, longing, hope. They don't need to declare anything. They rarely ever do. But sometimes, silence says more. And for those who've been watching closely, truly watching, the clues were always there. Not in grand gestures or love confessions, but in the smallest detail of all. Wang Yibo keeps holding Xiao Zhan's hand. Again and again, softly, naturally, without fanfare. At first, it seemed like nothing. Just a friendly gesture between colleagues, friends, co-stars. But then it kept happening. In public, in private, on stage, off stage, in the background of chaos, in the calm before a storm, in the middle of a crowd, they'd find each other. And always, almost instinctively, Yibo's hand would reach for Zhan's. No performance, no hesitation, just a steady, gentle grip. And those who paused every frame, slowed down every moment, zoomed into every flicker of movement, knew. This wasn't coincidence. It was communication. It was care. It was something sacred. I'm here. I've got you. I won't let go. To the untrained eye, it's easy to dismiss. But for those who know, those who feel, it became a language all its own. Wang Yibo, known for his restraint, his cold exterior, his sharp professionalism, is not someone who touches people easily. He doesn't hug often. He doesn't lean in. He doesn't reach out. Except to one person, Xiao Zhan. And it changes him. With Zhan, the edges of Yibo soften. He lingers. He glances. He stays. And when words fail or aren't allowed, when cameras are everywhere, and eyes are watching, he does the one thing that still feels real. He holds his hand, sometimes for just a second, sometimes longer, sometimes like he's saying, I see you. Because in a life where they can't always speak freely, where rumors twist everything they do, where intimacy is weaponized, they found a way to protect what they couldn't say aloud. They held it, literally. One moment stands out, an awards event, formal, tense. Xiao Zhan had been quiet, still recovering from one of the hardest years of his life. His eyes searched the crowd, distant and unsure. But under the table, hidden from view, Yibo's hand found his. Not tightly, not dramatically, just enough. Enough to say, you're not alone. That single gesture cut through all the noise. It wasn't planned. It wasn't rehearsed. It wasn't for the cameras. It was for him. There are people who, when they hold your hand, suddenly all directions feel clear. He never named anyone, but he didn't have to. The fans knew. They didn't guess. They felt it. Because love, real love, isn't always declared. Sometimes, it's simply held. The fandom became their silent witness. They became the archivists of moments, the collectors of subtleties. They made soft edits, paired the clips with melancholic music, added poems, quotes, soft filters. Not to invent something, but to preserve what was already there. They called it proof. Proof of something sacred, not to expose, but to honor. To remind the world that not all love is loud. Not all connection is explained. Some are just known. Whispers in the form of touch. Answers in a single glance. And trust, sealed in the palm of a hand. May those hands never let go. That hold says more than 1,000 words. They don't need to explain. We already know. And maybe that's the most beautiful part. That in a world obsessed with labels and confirmation and confessions, there are still people who believe in feelings. In quiet loyalty. In silent understanding. In a grip that never loosens even when everything else tries to pull them apart. Yibo, the quiet rebel. Zhan, the gentle storm. Two hearts that met on a fictional battlefield. And stayed close in reality. Even when the lights faded. Even when the scripts ended. And in moments when we think the world demands grand declarations. They remind us. Sometimes, all you need is a hand to hold. No words. No noise. Just presence. Maybe that's why we watch. Why we rewatch. Why we hold onto these fragments. Because we see ourselves in them. We all search for that hand in our own lives. Someone who doesn't need to ask. Who doesn't need a reason. Who just reaches for us. And when we find that person, we don't let go either. Because holding someone's hand, it's not just romantic. It's not just physical. It's a vow, a promise, a presence. And that's what makes this story between Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan so unforgettable. It's not because they shouted their bond. It's because they never had to. It was in the pauses. In the eye contact. In the fingers interlocked quietly when the world wasn't looking. And even when the world was looking, they didn't flinch. So now I ask you, do you think it's just friendship? Or have you, too, started to see it as something more, as a kind of love that doesn't scream? Because it never needs to. Let your heart speak in the comments. And if this touched you, even just a little, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because here at Lumo Pop, we'll keep telling stories like this. Of hands that hold on when no one else does. Of love that speaks without a voice. Of truths hidden in plain sight. Because sometimes, one hold is enough, and that's all it ever takes.